We're here to review the dee-jay Tech Boombox. This bad boy came out in late 2015. Here's the box. It's available in both red and black. I was hoping they'd come out with a white. They've got a white one on their website, but they didn't. Maybe that'll happen next year. Who knows? But this thing is built well. It sounds fantastic. We're going to go into what's inside it, how much power it's got, what kind of speakers, and all that good stuff. If you grew up in the 70s and 80s, you had something like this. This is a Panasonic 5250. You wanted tons of knobs and switches on your radio because it's just, that was the style back then. I mean, come on, we don't want something that looks like a pill or what is this, a turtle shell or a slinky? And what the heck is this? And this stuff is ugly. They got this right. You see all these sliders up here. That's actually not an EQ. They are faders for each of the inputs down here. We took off the grills here, and you can see this is a solid aluminum trim ring that goes on these things. It's held in place by wood screws. It's got a wood compartment. The front case is obviously going to be plastic like any other radio, but it screws into a wood backside. We'll show you photographs inside, but you can see the speaker. It's got a nice rubber surround. The tweeter is a soft dome, a silk dome tweeter. It's got a bass duct here. The handle is metal. It's metal all the way through with a plastic cover on top of the metal. Faceplate is metal. And in terms of what you can play SD card, USB, and it's got an FM radio. So you got this mode switch. You can do FM radio. The tuner knob is here. And you do have separate bass and treble, which is always nice. You've even got a line output volume. So I can, whatever I'm mixing or playing on this model, I could port it over to another one. So you could have two going off with the same music. The knobs are plastic, but they feel good. They got a center position. They're not metal, but you can't have everything. These sliders, they feel nice. So this one is this is mic 1. This is for this input. Mic 2 is for this one. This is aux 1 and aux 2. So you've got 4 different sliders for those 4 inputs. This fader is for either SD card, USB, or your FM radio, or Bluetooth. It's got Bluetooth. Let's look at the construction inside, some photographs. And here's what the speaker looks like inside. Very big magnet. They're pretty heavy. And inside we have the wood compartment. You see here, the plastic shell is touching this wood compartment. It's got a gasket between the wood. It has, let's go to the other photograph. The bass duct here that goes outside, and this is probably the FM antenna wire. But you can see the entire backside is wood. They glued it down pretty nicely. They've got little braces that they used on the edges of the panels. 21 watts per channel at 10% distortion. You are talking about a lot of bass that comes out of this guy. I mean, a lot of air moves out of the ports.
Now this is the original battery. It's a 2.6 amp per hour battery that's rated at 5 to 6 hours of normal usage. Well, what I use it for is I take it to the gym, I play basketball. So I have the volume at about 50 to 60%. So for me, I got about at maximum 4 hours usage out of it. And when I was cranking it really hard, it after 3 hours it was pretty much done. So I said, well, that doesn't work for me. I need more power. So what I did was I went online, researched, did some measurements. What size battery could I fit in there that would help me out? I got a 7 amp hour battery, doubled the output. It's rated at 20 hours. I'm still testing it. At this point, I've had it going for well over 4 hours, and I still have full battery power showing on the battery meter. So if it gets anywhere close to 20, I will be absolutely satisfied compared to the 3 to 4 hours I was getting out of this one. This battery, the Duracell, costs about $35. So for me, it was well worth the investment for the added time. Also, the thing I love about this radio is, speaking of customizing, because you can remove the grills, you can remove the grill covers, you can remove the speaker rings. There are lots of things you can do if you're into customizing radios. The back, it has a vinyl covering on it, sort of like a heat shrink vinyl. The front is plastic construction. It appears to be painted on the front, so if you wanted to change the color on the front, you could sand it down. It'd be very easy to paint for those who like to customize. I do want to get quickly into sound signature, and to me what it sounds like, I've spent days and days and hours listening to this thing. Now, compared to the 80s boom boxes, which are very forward on their mids, forward on the treble, really shrilly on the treble, the low end bass is not going to hit very hard because old school boom boxes have the vents on the back. So that's going to prevent you from getting that good solid bass. Although they do have good overall sound for the time they came out. This is a completely different beast. The bass hits hard and low. The mid bass hits very hard. Now the mids vocals are mildly recessed, but in a very smooth way. The treble with those silk tweeters are very non-fatiguing. You could literally listen to this radio all day and enjoy the sound. Where an 80s boombox shrieks and shrills, this thing soothes. I love to listen to this thing. And the power, 42 watts of power, is more than enough, not only outdoors, inside the gym, everywhere I've used this thing, it absolutely blows away any 80s boom boxes. For those of you who love the M90s, who love the 5350s, those are fantastic radios. They are the top of the food chain, the C100Fs. The bass on this will absolutely blow those away.
So what else we mentioned the handle. That's one point I want to make. You can rotate it to the front or to the back. One thing you got to notice is that it will fall down if you let it. It is held in place by these screws. And let me show you a photograph. That's the screw, and it screws into a little metal sleeve that is fitted into the wood. So if you feel that the handle is a little loose for your taste, just put some Loctite on this screw and see if that will help. That should wrap it up. Mel, any additional comments?
No, I just think this is probably the best old school styled modern boombox with all the necessary sound and bass improvements that these were lacking in. This has major strength in, especially from the bass and overall sound standpoint. It's almost like they shrunk down a home stereo and put it into a little box because it really has fantastic sound. You can't really compare it to any one-piece radio from the 80s. It just outperforms it in every aspect.